Tharngrim, the stone dominion. Hidden within the towering spires and shadowed depths of the northern mountains, Tharngrim. The stone dominion stands as one of the most formidable realms in existence. It is not a single kingdom, but a confederation of dwarven clans, each bound by oaths of stone and flame, united under the rule of the High Forge Lord and the Council of Clans. These clans govern both the lofty citadels that crown the peaks and the immense subterranean cities that stretch deep into the earth's heart. The Dominion's architecture reflects its people, enduring, unyielding, and magnificent. Every hall, bridge, and fortress is carved with precision, its walls inlaid with veins of platinum that shimmer like captured starlight. The dwarves of Tharngrim are a people of dual existence, living both above and below. The mountain citadels serve as centers of trade, diplomacy, and agriculture, their terraces filled with vineyards, smokehouses, and breweries. Below, the deep cities, such as Karzun Deep, Barad-dûr, and Anvilheart Forge, are sprawling labyrinths of stone and steel, illuminated by rivers of molten ore and the glow of crystal lamps. These subterranean metropolises are self-sustaining marvels, complete with underground lakes, fungal gardens, and vast mining complexes that feed the Dominion's insatiable hunger for metal and innovation. Economically, Tharngrim is a powerhouse. Its forges produce not only platinum, steel, and gemstones, but also an astonishing variety of beers, ales, wines, and spirits. Brewing is considered both an art and a sacred duty, with each clan maintaining its own secret recipes passed down through generations. The Dominion's beverages are famed across the world for their strength, flavor, and purity, brewed with mineral-rich mountain water and aged in stone casks deep underground. Festivals of ale and fire mark the turning of the seasons, drawing traders and travelers from distant lands to taste the Dominion's legendary brews. Equally prized are Tharngrim's tobaccos and smoking herbs, cultivated in the high valleys and subterranean gardens. Blended with volcanic ash and rare mountain herbs, these smokes are said to calm the mind and focus the spirit. They are exported in ornate stone boxes, often engraved with clan symbols or runes of good fortune. Smoking is both a social and spiritual act among the dwarves, used in meditation, negotiation, and even in rituals of remembrance for fallen kin. Together, the Dominion's brews and smokes form a cornerstone of its trade, exchanged for grain, timber, and silk from the outer realms. Yet beneath its culture of craftsmanship and trade lies a military machine of terrifying efficiency. The dwarves of Tharngrim are not merely miners and smiths. They are warriors forged in the crucible of fire and stone. Their armies are among the most advanced in the known world, fielding experimental and energy-based weaponry that few nations can comprehend, let alone counter. The Dominion's engineers have perfected plasma hammers, energy rifles, and rune-powered siege engines, blending ancient magic with cutting-edge metallurgy. These weapons are crafted in the Anvilheart Forge, where the flames are said to be kindled by the breath of the sleeping dragon itself. When the Dominion goes to war, it does so with overwhelming force. Its ground legions march in perfect formation, clad in armor that gleams like molten silver, wielding weapons that hum with contained energy. Above them, aerial divisions soar through the skies, piloting gyrocraft, sky barges, and flame-winged drakes. The dwarves' mastery of both engineering and alchemy allows them to wage war on multiple fronts, combining devastating long-range bombardments with crushing close-quarters assaults. Their strategy is one of precision and annihilation. They strike swiftly, outthink their foes, and leave nothing but ruin in their wake. Despite their martial prowess, the dwarves are not a people of blind conquest. Their wars are fought for defense, honor, and necessity, guided by a deep spiritual code rooted in their dual faith. The dwarves of Tharngrim worship both the divine light, a celestial source of purity and creation, and the sleeping dragon, an ancient being of fire and protection, said to slumber beneath the mountains. The light represents order, wisdom, and the forging of life, while the dragon embodies strength, passion, and the primal fire of creation. Together they form the spiritual foundation of dwarven identity, balancing intellect and instinct, faith and fury. Through devotion to the sleeping dragon, many dwarves receive divine blessings, known as the dragon gifts. These gifts manifest in three sacred forms: dragon skin, a hardening of the flesh that grants near-impervious resilience; dragon breath, the ability to exhale fire as a weapon of divine wrath; and dragon strength, an immense physical might said to rival the force of a mountain quake. Those who master all three are known as dragon-bound, revered as living saints and champions of the Dominion. They serve as generals, priests, and protectors, their presence on the battlefield as awe-inspiring as it is terrifying. At the heart of Tharngrim's spiritual and industrial power lies the Anvilheart Forge, a volcano-turned forge said to be fueled by the dragon's eternal breath. It is both a sacred temple and a technological wonder, a place where molten rivers flow like blood through channels of platinum, and where the greatest smiths and rune masters labor to create weapons of divine power. The Anvilheart is also the site of the Rite of Flame, a ceremony in which young dwarves dedicate themselves to the Dominion, standing before the forge's fire to swear oaths of loyalty, faith, and craft. Tharngrim's legacy is one of endurance, innovation, and faith. Its people are bound by stone and spirit, driven by a belief that creation and destruction are two sides of the same divine flame. Their forges burn without rest, their armies march without hesitation, and their prayers echo through the caverns like the heartbeat of the mountain itself. To face the stone dominion is to face the fury of the earth, unyielding, ingenious, and eternal. In every strike of the hammer, every spark of the forge, and every roar of the dragon's flame, Tharngrim reminds the world that true strength is not born, it is forged. Among the countless myths that swirl through the taverns and markets of the world, few are as enduring or as misunderstood as those concerning the women of Tharngrim. Outsiders often whisper that dwarves are born from the stone itself, that their race is entirely male, and that no dwarf woman has ever walked beneath the sun. Within the Dominion, however, the truth is far more wondrous and deeply rooted in tradition. Dwarven women are not only real, they are revered, powerful, and, by all accounts, breathtakingly beautiful. Yet their beauty is a secret guarded as fiercely as the Dominion's deepest vaults, the hidden matrons of the Stone Dominion. Dwarven women live primarily within the subterranean cities, rarely venturing to the surface. This seclusion is not born of weakness, but of protection and reverence. In ancient times, when raiders and rival kingdoms sought to enslave or exploit the dwarves, the beauty of their women became both a blessing and a curse. To safeguard them, the clans decreed that dwarven women would remain hidden from the eyes of outsiders, dwelling in the sanctuaries of the deep. Over centuries, this practice became sacred law, woven into the very fabric of dwarven culture, the shrouds of modesty and mystery. When dwarven women do appear in public, most often during religious ceremonies or council gatherings, They are always shrouded in heavy veils of silk, chain, or rune-woven cloth. These garments are not merely disguises, but symbols of dignity and divine favor. Each shroud is unique, embroidered with the sigils of one's clan and the runes of the sleeping dragon, believed to ward off envy and ill intent. The veils shimmer faintly when touched by light, concealing all but the wearer's eyes, which are said to gleam like molten gold or polished obsidian. The myth of the Earthborn. Generations of outsiders, having never seen a dwarven woman unveiled, came to believe that dwarves are born from the very earth, that the mountains themselves give birth to sons of stone and fire. The dwarves have never corrected this myth. In fact, they encourage it, finding amusement and strategic advantage in the misconception. To their enemies, the idea that dwarves spring from the ground as fully formed warriors only enhances their fearsome reputation. Within Tharngrim, however, the truth is known. Dwarven women are the heart of the mountain, the keepers of lineage, lore, and life itself, beauty beyond mortal measure. Those few who have glimpsed a dwarven woman unveiled speak of beauty so profound it borders on the divine. Their features are strong yet graceful, their skin kissed by the glow of forge fire, their hair gleaming like threads of copper, gold, or midnight steel. Their eyes burn with the same inner light that fuels the Dominion's forges. It is said that the sleeping dragon blessed them with this beauty as a reflection of the mountain's hidden splendor, majestic, enduring, and unseen by the unworthy. The matriarchal foundations of power. Though rarely seen, dwarven women wield immense influence within the Dominion. They are scholars, rune weavers, and spiritual leaders who guide their clans from within the deep halls. The matron councils, assemblies of elder women, advise the High Forge Lord and the Council of Clans, ensuring that every decision honors both tradition and divine balance. Many of the Dominion's greatest innovations in metallurgy, alchemy, and energy weaponry originated from the hidden workshops of dwarven women, whose intellect rivals their beauty. The sacred role of creation. In dwarven faith, women are seen as the living vessels of creation, mirroring the mountain's womb from which all life and metal are born. The divine light is often depicted as feminine, a radiant figure forging stars upon an anvil of gold, while the sleeping dragon is her eternal consort, guarding her creations in his fiery dreams. This duality of light and flame, creation and protection, is embodied in dwarven womanhood. To harm or dishonor a dwarven woman is considered one of the gravest sins imaginable, punishable by exile or death, the guardians of the deep. Within the subterranean sanctuaries, dwarven women train in arts both sacred and martial. Many serve as flamekeepers, priestesses who tend the eternal fires of the Anvilheart Forge and interpret the will of the sleeping dragon. Others become rune binders, crafting powerful enchantments that protect the Dominion's cities and armies. Though they rarely fight on the surface, their influence is felt in every weapon forged, every rune inscribed, and every prayer whispered before battle. The Veiled Festivals. Once a year, during the Festival of the First Flame, the Dominion celebrates the union of the divine light and the sleeping dragon. On this night, dwarven women emerge from the deep to walk among their kin, veiled but radiant, bearing torches of sacred fire. The air fills with music, the scent of spiced ale, and the sound of hammers striking in rhythm. It is said that during this festival, the veil between the mortal world and the divine thins, and the mountain itself hums with joy. The legacy of secrecy. The secrecy surrounding dwarven women has shaped the Dominion's identity as much as its forges and armies. To outsiders, it remains a mystery that fuels endless speculation. To the dwarves, it is a sacred truth that binds their people together. The myth of the earth-born dwarves serves as both shield and symbol, a reminder that what is unseen is often the most powerful. In this way, the women of Tharngrim embody the Dominion's greatest strength: beauty hidden within stone, power veiled in silence. The eternal balance. In the end, the dwarven women of Tharngrim are the living heart of their civilization, keepers of faith, wisdom, and fire. They are the silent architects of the Dominion's endurance, the unseen hands that shape its destiny. Beneath their shrouds lies not weakness, but purpose, not secrecy, but sanctity. And though the world may never know their faces, every spark that rises from a dwarven forge carries their blessing. Every song of the hammer echoes their strength. For in Tharngrim, even the unseen burns with divine light. The dwarves of Tharngrim are a people of secrecy and unyielding order, their mountain halls sealed by ancient law and guarded by the fires of their ancestors. Entry into the Dominion is a privilege few outsiders will ever know, for the dwarves grant such permission only to those bound to them by sacred oath and proven trust. Among these, two great organizations stand apart: the Merchant Guild and the Adventurers Guild, each holding special sanction to enter dwarven lands. These guilds serve as the Dominion's chosen intermediaries with the surface world, maintaining trade, exploration, and mutual defense in accordance with accords written in rune and stone. The Merchant Guild is renowned for its discipline, wealth, and long-standing alliance with the dwarves. Its members are granted limited access to the lower trade halls of Tharngrim, where they exchange surface goods, silks, spices, enchanted reagents, and rare woods for dwarven metals, gemstones, and masterwork forges. Every transaction is recorded by dwarven scribes, and no merchant may travel unaccompanied. Runeguard escorts ensure that no secret of the Dominion is revealed. The guild's reputation for integrity is paramount, for a single act of deceit would see not only the individual but their entire lineage barred from dwarven trade forever. The Adventurers Guild stands as an equal counterpart to the merchants, its influence and reach no less significant. Its members are often called upon by the dwarves to undertake perilous missions, delving into ancient ruins, clearing the deep tunnels of monstrous threats, or guarding trade convoys through the perilous underways. The dwarves respect their courage and skill, and the guild's charter grants its members the rare right to traverse dwarven territory when summoned or contracted. However, even these seasoned warriors and explorers must abide by dwarven law. Every movement is monitored, every word recorded, and every contract sealed by rune. The dwarves trust no outsider completely, but they honor those who prove themselves through deed and discipline. For all others, the gates of Tharngrim remain closed. Foreign nobles, scholars, and emissaries may petition for entry, but such requests are rarely granted, and often take years to even be acknowledged. The dwarves guard their borders not from fear, but from reverence, for within their mountains lie their sacred forges, their ancestral tombs, and the hidden sanctuaries of their women. To them, the mountain is a living temple, its secrets belonging only to those who have earned the right to walk its halls. Thus, while the Merchant and Adventurers Guilds serve as the Dominion's chosen bridges to the world above, the true heart of Tharngrim remains forever sealed, its mysteries veiled in stone and silence. The dwarves of Tharngrim are not only masters of stone and flame, but also of creation itself. Deep within their mountain halls, beyond the reach of sunlight and mortal intrusion, they have given life to beings of metal and earth, the sentinel golems. These constructs are not mere machines of war. They are intelligent, sentient guardians forged through the union of craftsmanship, rune magic, and sacrifice. Each golem bears within it the soul of a fallen dwarf, bound by sacred rites performed at the Anvilheart Forge. In times of peace, they slumber within the halls of stone, their eyes dim and their bodies still as statues. But when the Dominion is threatened, they awaken, eternal warriors rising once more to defend their kin. The process of creating a sentinel golem is among the most sacred and secretive acts in dwarven culture. When a dwarf of great honor falls in battle, their body is laid upon the anvil of souls, and their spirit is guided by the flame keepers into a vessel of steel and rune-carved stone. The ritual binds their essence to the Dominion forever, granting them a new form and purpose. These golems are not mindless constructs. They retain fragments of memory, emotion, and loyalty. They speak in voices that echo like grinding stone, and though their faces are expressionless, their eyes burn with the same fire that once lived in their mortal hearts. To the dwarves, this transformation is not a curse, but a sacred continuation of duty, a warrior's final oath fulfilled in eternal service. The sentinel golems are formidable in both strength and intelligence, standing twice the height of a dwarf and forged from enchanted alloys of mithril and obsidian steel. They are capable of wielding weapons that no living being could lift. Their minds, though bound to their duty, are capable of thought and conversation, and they often serve as advisors, historians, or guardians of sacred sites. Some even maintain companionship with the living dwarves, sharing stories of ancient wars and lost ages. The dwarves treat them with deep reverence, addressing them as elder brothers or stoneborn. It is said that when a golem speaks, the mountain itself listens. Though they are eternal, the sentinel golems live in a manner that mirrors the dwarves themselves. They rest in great halls known as the dormitories of iron, where they lie in rows upon stone slabs, their bodies motionless, their minds drifting in dreams of the forge. When they awaken, they eat and drink, not out of necessity, but as ritual. They consume molten metal and stone dust, offerings that renew their bond with the earth and keep their inner fires burning. During festivals, dwarves share meals beside them, symbolizing unity between the living and the eternal. This act blurs the line between life and death, reminding all that the Dominion endures through both flesh and stone. In times of war, the awakening of the sentinel golems is a sight that shakes even the bravest hearts. The deep halls tremble as their forges roar to life, and the sound of their awakening echoes like thunder through the mountains. Their eyes ignite with molten light, and their voices chant the ancient war hymns of Tharngrim. When they march to battle, the ground quakes beneath their steps, and the air hums with the resonance of their power. To the dwarves, their arrival is both a blessing and a warning. The living and the dead united once more in defense of the Dominion. The existence of these sentient golems is one of the Dominion's most closely guarded secrets. Only the High Forge Lord, the Flame Keepers, and the Matron Councils know the full extent of their creation and command. Even the merchant and adventurers' guilds, though privileged to enter dwarven lands, are forbidden from approaching the inner sanctums where the golems rest. To reveal their existence to outsiders would be to risk the sanctity of the Dominion's greatest legacy. For the dwarves of Tharngrim, the sentinel golems are more than weapons. They are the living embodiment of dwarven endurance, the eternal guardians of their people, and the proof that even death cannot extinguish the fire of the mountain. In this way, the dominion of Tharngrim stands as a realm unlike any other, a kingdom where the living and the eternal coexist, where sentient stone walks beside mortal flesh, and where the souls of heroes never truly fade. The dwarves' mastery of craft and spirit has allowed them to transcend mortality itself, binding their legacy to the heart of the mountain. Within those halls of iron and fire, the sentinel golems keep silent watch, waiting for the day when the Dominion once again calls them to rise, and the mountain awakens with them. The dwarves of Tharngrim, ever secretive and ingenious, have extended their mastery of creation beyond the sentinel golems. Through a fusion of rune forging, elemental binding, and soulcraft, they have crafted beings known as replicants, artificial constructs made of metal, stone, and enchanted clay that perfectly mimic the appearance and behavior of other races. These replicants are the pinnacle of dwarven artifice, designed not for war but for intelligence and subterfuge. Their purpose is to walk among the surface dwellers unseen, gathering knowledge, monitoring threats, and ensuring that the Dominion always knows the movements of its allies and enemies alike. Each replicant is a masterpiece of engineering and magic. Forged in the Hall of Mirrors, a hidden forge temple deep beneath the capital of Kazathar, they are shaped by master artisans known as flesh smiths, dwarves who specialize in the crafting of lifelike forms from inorganic matter. Using rare minerals, molten alloys, and enchanted dust, the flesh smiths sculpt bodies that can imitate the texture of skin, the color of eyes, and even the subtle warmth of living flesh. The secret lies in the heartstone core, a rune-etched crystal that channels both heat and vitality through the construct. When touched, a replicant feels alive, warm, breathing, and pulsing faintly with energy. Only the most skilled mages or rune readers could ever detect the truth of their nature. The replicants serve as the unseen eyes and ears of the Dominion. They are deployed across the surface world, often disguised as merchants, scholars, soldiers, or travelers. Some dwell for decades among humans, elves, or orcs, blending seamlessly into society while transmitting information back to Tharngrim through encrypted rune signals carried by the ley lines beneath the earth. Their loyalty is absolute. They are bound by the Oath of Stone, an unbreakable commandment woven into their cores. A replicant cannot betray the Dominion, nor can it reveal its true nature, unless ordered by the Forge Lords themselves. To the dwarves, these agents are not mere tools but extensions of their will, a silent network ensuring that no secret of the surface escapes their notice. Within the Dominion itself, the dwarves maintain an intricate and far-reaching spy network that rivals any known intelligence order. Every major city, from the forges of Deepreach to the trade halls of Ironhold, has its own rune circle of shadows, a covert order of dwarves trained in espionage, counterintelligence, and rune-based communication. These agents coordinate with the replicants abroad, decoding their reports and relaying information to the High Council. The dwarves' efficiency in intelligence gathering is legendary. They often know of political shifts, wars, and alliances long before any surface kingdom does. Even the merchant and adventurers' guilds, though trusted, are carefully monitored by this network to ensure their loyalty never wavers. The replicants are not without individuality. Though bound by duty, many develop personalities and preferences over time, shaped by the roles they inhabit. Some grow fond of the surface world, adopting its customs and languages, Yet their devotion to the Dominion remains unbroken. When their missions end, they return to Tharngrim and are received with honor, their memories preserved in crystal archives known as the Vaults of Whispering Stone. There, their experiences are studied by dwarven scholars to refine future creations and strategies. In this way, the Dominion's knowledge grows ever deeper, its reach extending far beyond the mountains that conceal it. Through the sentinel golems and the replicants alike, the dwarves of Tharngrim have achieved what few races could imagine: mastery over both life and imitation. Their creations blur the line between the living and the artificial, the mortal and the eternal. To outsiders, the Dominion may appear closed and insular, but beneath its stone surface lies a web of intelligence and vigilance that spans continents. Every whisper in a royal court, every rumor in a tavern, may already be known in the halls of Tharngrim, carried there by a replicant's silent report or a rune's flicker of light. In this way, the dwarves ensure that their dominion endures not only through strength of arms, but through the unseen power of knowledge and shadow. At the farthest edge of the Dominion, where the mountains of Tharngrim meet the open lands of the surface world, stands the legendary city of Ravenstone, a marvel of architecture, diplomacy, and innovation. Unlike the sealed halls of the inner Dominion, Ravenstone is a place of openness and exchange, the only dwarven settlement where outsiders are permitted to live freely. Built upon a vast plateau of black granite and veined silver, the city gleams like a jewel at the mountain's base, its towers rising high with both dwarven precision and surface-world artistry. Here, dwarves, humans, elves, gnomes, and even orcs coexist under the watchful eyes of the Dominion's laws. With a population exceeding 3 million, Ravenstone stands as one of the largest and most diverse cities in the known world, a living testament to the dwarves' ability to balance secrecy with progress. Ravenstone serves as the beating heart of trade and technology for the Waving Kingdom, acting as the primary gateway between the surface nations and the depths of Tharngrim. Its forges burn day and night, producing goods that blend dwarven craftsmanship with the ingenuity of other races: airships powered by rune engines, mechanical constructs of hybrid design, and weapons of unmatched precision. The city is governed by a council of 6 dwarves, each representing a different aspect of the Dominion's influence: trade, craft, law, war, magic, and faith. Presiding over this council is an elected prime minister, chosen every 10 years by both dwarven citizens and recognized guild representatives from the city's diverse population. The prime minister serves as the voice of Ravenstone, mediating between the council's authority and the will of its people, ensuring that the city remains a model of cooperation and progress. Beneath its bustling streets run layers of tunnels and vaults, connecting directly to the mountain halls, allowing the dwarves to move goods and information unseen. To many, Ravenstone is the pinnacle of dwarven achievement, a place where the ancient and the modern meet, where innovation is born from unity, and where the fire of Tharngrim burns brightest at the world's edge. Ravenstone's prosperity is built upon its unrivaled mastery of trade and innovation, making it the economic crown of the Waving Kingdom and a beacon of dwarven prestige across the known world. Every major trade route in the region converges upon its gates, where caravans and airships from distant nations arrive daily, their holds filled with exotic goods, rare minerals, and arcane relics. The city's markets are legendary, vast arcades of stone and glass, where dwarven merchants bargain beside elven jewelers, human artificers, and gnomish engineers. The Ravenstone Exchange, a monumental trade hall carved into the mountain's face, serves as the financial heart of the Dominion's surface dealings, setting prices for metals, gemstones, and enchanted materials across multiple kingdoms. Its influence is so great that fluctuations in Ravenstone's trade values can ripple through entire economies. This immense wealth has allowed the city to fund grand public works, maintain unmatched infrastructure, and project the Dominion's prestige far beyond its borders, ensuring that Tharngrim's name is spoken with both awe and respect in every royal court. Every 4 years, Ravenstone becomes the center of the world's attention with the grand competition of champions, a monumental festival of strength, intellect, and magic that draws millions of spectators and contestants from every known kingdom. The event spans several weeks, transforming the city into a living spectacle of banners, music, and celebration. The games include contests of physical might, hammer throws, mountain climbs, and dueling tournaments, as well as exhibitions of invention and ingenuity, where engineers and mages unveil groundbreaking creations before vast crowds. Recently, the addition of sorcerer competitions has elevated the event's prestige even further, attracting powerful spellcasters eager to prove their mastery and earn the favor of the Dominion. The prizes offered are extraordinary: enchanted weapons, rune-forged armor, vast sums of gold, and even rare heartstone fragments said to grant immense power. Victors of individual events earn the right to enter the Grand Championship, a no-holds-barred combat trial where the greatest warriors, inventors, and sorcerers face one another in a final test of supremacy. The amphitheaters of Ravenstone are marvels of dwarven engineering and arcane design, built to host the grand spectacles of the competition of champions. The largest, the Arena of the Six Flames, can seat over 500,000 spectators, its tiered stands carved directly into the mountainside and reinforced with rune-bound stone that vibrates with the roar of the crowd. Smaller amphitheaters scattered throughout the city host specialized events, ranging from invention showcases and magical duels to strength trials and aerial races. Each arena is equipped with arcane projection crystals, ancient devices that transmit live illusions of the competitions across the Dominion and into allied nations. Through these magical broadcasts, citizens from distant lands can witness the feats of might, ingenuity, and sorcery as if standing in the stands themselves. The tournaments generate immense wealth not only through attendance but also through sponsorships, wagers, and trade surges during the festivities. Winners are rewarded with vast sums of gold, enchanted artifacts, and titles of honor, recognized across multiple kingdoms. These prizes, often forged or blessed by the Dominion's finest artisans, are said to carry both prestige and power, marking their bearers as true champions of Ravenstone and symbols of the Dominion's enduring greatness. Beyond the competitions themselves, the festival transforms Ravenstone into a city of wonder and revelry. Streets are lined with banners bearing the sigils of competing houses, and every tavern, guild hall, and plaza becomes a gathering place for celebration. Merchants from across the world set up temporary markets, selling rare goods and exotic foods, while bards and performers entertain crowds late into the night. The Dominion's engineers and artificers use the event to unveil new technologies: clockwork automatons, rune-powered vehicles, and weapons of breathtaking craftsmanship, turning the festival into both a fair of innovation and a proving ground for invention. The city's population swells to nearly double its size during the games, and the influx of trade and tourism generates staggering revenue, reinforcing Ravenstone's position as the economic and cultural heart of the known world. For the Dominion, The competition of champions is more than a spectacle. It is a statement of national prestige and unity. The event showcases not only the might of dwarven craftsmanship, but also the Dominion's willingness to embrace and celebrate the talents of all races under its protection. Each victory, invention, and display of magic reflects the ideals of progress, strength, and cooperation that define Ravenstone's spirit. Foreign dignitaries attend in droves, forging alliances and trade deals amidst the festivities, while the Dominion's leaders use the event to demonstrate their unmatched influence. To win in Ravenstone is to earn eternal glory. To host it is to remind the world that the Dominion stands unshaken, its fires burning brighter than ever, its people united beneath the mountain's shadow, and its legacy etched into the very stone of the world. Ravenstone is often called the jewel of the Dominion, not only for its gleaming towers and luminous crystal streets, but for the harmony of cultures that thrive within its walls. Unlike the deep dwarven cities of Tharngrim, where tradition and lineage define every aspect of life, Ravenstone is a place of diversity and shared purpose. Its districts reflect the artistry and customs of countless peoples, elven gardens that shimmer with moonlight beside dwarven forges, human-built spires lined with glass and brass, and gnomish workshops that hum with mechanical life. Every race has carved out a place within the city's vast expanse, contributing their unique skills, beliefs, and aesthetics to the greater whole. The dwarves see Ravenstone as their masterpiece, a living monument to their adaptability and vision, while outsiders view it as a rare sanctuary where innovation and cooperation transcend bloodlines and borders. In Ravenstone, one's worth is measured not by heritage, but by craft, courage, and the will to build something greater than oneself, making it a true beacon of unity in a world still divided by old grudges and ancient pride. Among the many contests held during the competition of champions, few are as celebrated as the Invention of the Year, an award given to the most groundbreaking creation unveiled during the festival. These inventions are often tailored to specific fields: medicine, war, convenience, peace, comfort, and travel, each pushing the boundaries of what is possible through craft and magic. From healing elixirs that can mend shattered bones in moments to flying carriages that traverse entire continents, the inventions of Ravenstone often reshape the world itself. Alongside these marvels are the games of strategy and strength, where tacticians, warriors, and mages test not only their power but their intellect and resolve. Victors of these games are hailed as heroes across the realms, their names recorded in the chronicles of champions, and their talents sought by kings, guilds, and armies alike. To triumph in Ravenstone is to ascend beyond mere fame. It is to be immortalized as one who shaped the course of nations through brilliance, valor, and the unyielding spirit of the Dominion.